right,
It was
hello,
definitely better
welcome
than the
to
first
Adventures in Lollygagging. We are back to playing Call of Cthulhu today. Steven is being a whiny little baby.
No.
But
No, I'm not.
yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
I
He's like, I don't like
simply
Thor
believe-
Ragnarok because it ruined Hulk. It would ruin. What was it?
Planet
Ruined
Hulk was a great storyline, and it was worthy of its own film. I will die on this hill.
You could. I mean, you can certainly do that.
I mean, we're gonna die where we are. So
Oh, you're not in a hill. You're gonna die in a sewer.
Be on a hill. We don't.
4 of you are going to die in sewers. 1 of you is going to die out in the streets. So that's basically what today's going to be about. It's going to be fun.
So there you go. They can drag your body to a hill, and you can have your wish.
Oh, goodness gracious. All right. So, yeah, we're back. We're playing some more Call of Cthulhu. We're continuing our Eternal Lies campaign. We are in Bangkok. We have a full crew. I feel bad for my Trey because everybody made some decisions, and now her character is voluntarily in a prison cell in a sewer. God knows how to get the hell out of it because it was such a circuitous route there. So that's tough for
She's
Shima.
been asking for a fight club.
I was
And
Yeah, you don't want this fight
invited.
club.
very sweet
fight
of you
club.
to think that I would make better decisions, but I
That's fair.
promise you I probably wouldn't.
Mhm. You,
But
this
it's
isn't a fight club.
very kind of you to assume that about me.
This is
This is not a
murder.
fight club. This is not a fight club. This is a different kind of club. Very, very different kind of club. Look how mad Steven is. Look how angry he is. I got him so riled. Look how mad he is. He's so
I'm
mad.
writing angry comments in the chat.
He's so
Get in the
mad.
comments.
Deserve
Get
its
in the
own feature
comments.
film.
Back me up.
Planet Hulk deserved his own feature film. Like, I'm not even saying whether that's true or not true, but the notion
I'm saying it's
that
true.
a different
I'm
movie,
saying it's true.
you're pulling it out of your ass. You get upset about something that you completely made up. You completely
I'm
made
hot.
it up,
I'm hot.
and you're getting
I'm
upset
hot.
about it. It's just like
I'm riled. I'm riled.
like,
He's
Bring
ready
that
to fight.
energy.
Okay, we did it. We did it. We got to get him in there.
oh, jeez.
All right.
So
Swap it
crazy.
out.
What
Bring
about
Long
it?
back.
Yeah,
Put
he's
Steven in.
whatever. Anyhow, we're in Bangkok. Things went sideways very fast. Bev, we were over by the Daniel Woman's townhouse. You tried to delay him. You saw him on the street going into the townhouse, so you tried to delay him. You intercepted. You didn't want him to discover Patrick, Marie, or Will. But in doing so, you put yourself in very serious danger.
Yes, I
Loman
did.
walked you all around the area. God knows where. Like, none of you know where. None of you could speak Thai. You guys decided, no, let's not hire a translator to come along with us and actually help us navigate the place. You guys decided not to do that. So you're just going wherever the hell you want to go. And eventually brought you to a restaurant, got you some drinks, some food, got up for a few minutes, doing the order, was like, talking, and then came back,
Yeah.
sat down, drank some food with you, et cetera. And then by the time that meal was over, even though you were trying to convince him that you were not who you said you were, group of toughs showed up, dragged you away. And that was that. Back at Loman's townhouse, the rest of the investigators couldn't find Bev, so you lingered for a little bit nearby. You saw a car filled with a bunch of people show up, search the townhouse, and then leave. And then you didn't really have much to go on, so you just kind of started wandering around, hoping to find something for Bev. Eventually, hours later, you heard a story about a woman getting attacked and dragged out of some kind of cafe. You were grouped at your hotel. You mulled your options. There's a lot of disagreement. Melissa got up and had to leave the table, and so decisions were suddenly made. And you decided you're going to go to the Fragrant Honey Shop, a place that you had heard about because of a broadside and because of some stuff in Trammell's Testament. Unbeknownst to the group, because I made them take their headphones off, Bev actually managed to escape her captors as they parked their car in an alley somewhere. She broke free and outran them through a very dizzying series of alleyways and passages. A couple of them got stuck in that. Remember that narrow portion where like a few of them got stuck at one point? And we had a fun chase scene without you. And then you found this like overgrown courtyard. You hid in there for a little bit, and then you just disappeared into the night. Now you have no shoes, you have no money, you have no gun, but you also are no longer captured inside of a car.
Yep.
Meanwhile, everyone else went to the fragrant honey shop, gave a passcode that you had read inside Tremble's testament, in which he was being invited to come fight in their rituals, was the actual phrase to give this. And so a pair of tie men came and led you through an increasingly circuitous urban labyrinth of ruins, apartments, and warehouses before you were finally led down into a sewer. And that's where you all allowed yourselves sort of to be placed into cells. One was even filled with a body. I think it was Will and Patrick in one and Marie and Shima in the other. Shortly thereafter, a group of them came and opened the kind of the grate that was covering Will and Patrick's cell, grabbed Patrick, drag him out into this sort of middling passage and down that passage into a door that all of you cannot see. So that is where we ended. Okay. Ready to go? You feeling good? I'm feeling great. I'm so fired up right now. It's good.
I'm fired up.
You can
See, that was the point all
now.
along.
We can, because we're going to start with Long. We're going to start with Patrick. I'm just trying to find the perfect music here. Where's my Ragnarok theme song? Here we go. I'm gonna risk copyright strikes just to dig at Steven. Okay, let's try that one. All right. So, all right, we pick up with Will, with Patrick. You have been dragged in away from your friends down this hall. You have multiple people who are flanking you, some with these sharpened spears, others with machetes. You get dragged into a room at the end of this kind of winding passageway where all these different cells were. And when you come inside, you can see it's a very, very busy room. There's lots of, you presume to be guards and attendees. There's also what looks like lots of like crates and stuff, some of which seem to have like scattered belongings, some with clothes, some with weapons, some with just sort of like miscellaneous wallets and purses and other things like that. You see on one of these tables, there is some nectar, vials of nectar. You would recognize them. And they look a lot like some of the nectar that you saw when you're inside Loman's house. You even see a few crates that are like half filled with like weapons. You see like guns and things. And you see along the walls, hanging on these different hooks, are machetes, are spears, are knives, some old-fashioned medieval-like maces with spikes sticking out of them, man of war and such. And they are just manhandling you like you're a piece of cattle. And they are just dragging you over. In the room, there's probably a dozen people. And they drag you over and they like kind of push you down onto this stool. And they start stripping off your clothes.
Hey now, what are you doing? Where are you taking me? What is this? Get your hands off
One
me.
of them just puts their hand over your mouth, and then doesn't say anything else. And then they just start ripping stuff off. So they take like your suspenders off, your jacket off. They start going through your pockets and ripping this out. One of them takes a knife and just strips down some of the fabric of your clothes at this point. And then as you're like, another one of them comes over now, and they have this large vial, and you can see, again, you know exactly what this is. And they take the stopper out of it, and then as two guys are holding down your arms, and one of them is holding down your knees, the one who has their hand over your mouth, pulls it away, and they jam this vial down your throat, and they just push your head back, and then they just start stroking your neck a bit and kind of forcing you to swallow. You smell a mossy, pungent smell that you are very familiar with at this point. It tastes different than the tiny bit you maybe have. Actually, no, I think when you accidentally got exposed, it was by needle as opposed to ingestion. So you wouldn't know the taste, but it burns a little bit as it goes down, but in a good kind of way. It almost like you're drinking like a hot sauce kind of thing. Like you just feel this heat. And at first, it doesn't really seem to do anything. You just feel like this tingling come over top of you. And then you feel them continuing to pull pieces. And when you look down, you see you are now shirtless. They have torn away all of your clothes, which they are now carrying over to one of the crates. And they throw it in with all of the other fabrics. And they take some of your other belongings, like if you had any money, if you had like any locksmithing tools, and they start organizing them in these different crates where they just seems like they're taking your things and putting them where all this other stuff is. You feel a poke at your back. And when you look over, you can see there's a very large, very heavy, probably 250-pound man with tattoos all over that is jabbing you in the back with a machete. Not like to hurt you, just trying to motion for you to get up.
All right, what's the big idea?
And then they say something.
Follows motions.
And so they get you up, and you're feeling with each step like you are very much feeling this warmth begin to spread further and further and further. Like it's into your chest, in your chest, out to your shoulders, down your arms a bit. And you're already kind of starting to feel like this temperature rise, this internal temperature rise. They start like directing you back towards the door you came through. And you can see that you're being flanked again. A couple of them have weapons, and you now are literally, other than like whatever kind of drawers you wear, you're otherwise completely where you can see your feet with each step. Your shoes have been taken from you, everything. And they lead you back out into the passageway. Will, Marie, and Shima, go ahead and roll a spot hidden with a penalty die, as the angle is not very good for you to see him. And Patrick, you're welcome to try to do something. You're welcome to call out. Like, you're welcome to do things that you would probably know you're in a lot of danger, and certainly being moved along as though you're just literally like a cow being led to the slaughter.
Yeah, just continuous complaining along the way.
Okay.
Very irate.
Fail
okay,
for me,
so
71 over 45.
Okay, so you don't see him. Marie?
95 over 72.
Okay, so it's not okay. That's a fail. Shima?
12 under 78.
With a penalty die?
That's I rolled with the -1 of the system. Yeah.
No, a penalty die is you roll 2 D100s and you take the worst for your 10s die.
All sorts.
I was gonna say that's like 2 amazing rolls.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. Give me just.
No, you're all good.
No worries.
36 under 78.
Okay, so you're the only one, as you and Marie are kind of leaning against the grate that's covering your the exit to your cell. You're the only one, maybe it's your height, maybe that's what it is, that you're able to like stretch up and see out and over the bend in the wall. And you can see Patrick. And I'll say the rest of you can hear Patrick, but Shima, you're the only one that can see him, still at the far end of the hall. But you see that he is being kind of herded by a few of these men and women with these. They have, again, spears, machetes, knives, and they're just kind of pushing him. And you can see, I'll say with your score, you can see like there's a dripping liquid coming down his chin, and he is being essentially forced up these stone steps at the far end of the hall, and then he's out of your vision. You get a brief glimpse of it. You can say whatever you want right now, Shima, too. If you wanted to shout.
She's gonna yell, Mr. Price! Mr. Price!
Patrick, you could probably hear that briefly before she comes out of your side.
Shima, they've stripped me to my trousers and taken me somewhere.
Do I see where they're taking me?
All you saw was there was like a stone staircase at one end of the hall towards the direction they dragged him. And you've kind of... you've lost it at this point. Like, you can't really see him anymore. The last thing you hear from him, he's been down to his skivvies, and then he's out of sight now.
Okay. I'm gonna turn and sort of frantically say to they've got him. He's naked and being taken somewhere.
I mean, she's said in the car that this is where fights happen. So we need to try to figure this out. And so Marie's looking to see, like, is anyone still in this hallway since they came and got him and took him away?
It is a very busy hallway with people coming and going. Some are carrying what looks like some crates or some other belongings. Some of them are covered in blood. Some of them aren't. So yeah, there's definitely activity in this hall. There's no one that's like immediately standing right outside your door. Or like what the cell entrance, but there's definitely no more than 30 seconds before like somebody appears visible or you hear someone call out from down the hall. Like this is an active scene.
I do not know how are we going to get ourselves out of this situation. This might be the most danger that we found ourselves in so far.
Shima will go up to the grate again and just sort of yell out, "Hey, can someone come here? Someone come here!"
So you do see someone come over, like probably about 5'7", 5'8" guys. Got sort of these sunken eyes, looks wild and crazy. And you can see that like his teeth are a little bit like kind of crooked and some of them are missing. He's got like a swollen face here and there. And he shouts something to you that you do not understand. And he kind of brandishes this spear in front of you.
I will ask in French if he speaks French.
He takes the spear and he stabs you with it as he kind of slides the spearhead through the grate at you.
In his defense, he did warn you. You just didn't know.
No.
Okay. That is a 34. That is a hit for me. You are welcome to try to dodge this if you would like.
I would like to. Right. Success with the 40.
You manage to like lunge back a bit and get out of reach of the spear, and then he kind of stabs it through once or twice more just to send a message, and then he like kind of makes this dismissive gesture with his hand at this point.
As soon as Patrick would have been taken and they like resealed my cell, which is now like a luxury cell because I have it to myself.
There is a dead body in here though. Don't forget that.
He doesn't count.
You could probably lay on top of it, like it's like
it's
squishy.
Cushion. It's decor. It's Halloween. No, sorry, not trying to. As soon as they would have sealed it again, put that bar over, I would have been back at it with the bayonet, trying to pry it up again. And before, I would have been like trying to do it like quietly, stealthily, like taking my time, making sure not noticed. This time, it would be just going as fast as I can, trying to. I don't give a shit if they see. I just want to get out and try to help Patrick.
Okay, so as he is dealing with Shima, I'm going to have him roll a spot hidden, but I'm going to give him a penalty die because he's kind of distracted by Shima, and this is essentially to see if he notices you doing this. What you're doing
like
is
I said,
slow.
I'm not being stealthy this time.
No.
Yeah. I know
that's why I'm...
Yeah,
it's very slow, but like, we'll see if he notices. Hang on, let me double check his stats. As I rolled a 5 and a 55. Okay. He turns around after like dismissing Shima and whatever she was saying and starts walking back down the passage and doesn't seem to notice or at least turn his head in your direction. So you think you have been able to do this without being noticed. Okay. Patrick, you are getting pushed up this staircase, and with each step you hear jeers and cheers and screams. You hear the sounds of like people slamming their feet. It gets louder and louder. And then you sometimes hear like this in sync kind of cheer or chant. The stairwell itself, there are all manner of like blood stains on the walls, on the steps themselves, some dark and old, some fresh, some literally glistening as you move past. when you eventually get pushed out, you, at the top of the stairs, at the top of these like kind of concrete stone stairs, you see you are in some kind of shell of a gutted warehouse. You can just tell from looking at it that it's been kind of repurposed in this crude manner. You notice that it's a very high ceiling. As you look above you, you're feeling with each step, with each moving, this like heat continuing to coat through you. And like your teeth are starting to like just without even realizing, just grind against one another. High ceiling, these timbers, like these rafters just kind of get lost up. This darkness and spider webs up there. You can even see or hear like the flapping like of a bat or a bird moving about. You see in the center of this room, there is this rectangular fighting pit. It's surrounded by what look like these waist-high yotsume, these kind of Japanese-style bamboo fence with the upright posts and canes that have been sharpened to these dangerous points. And most, as you look, are bloodstained and gristled. You even see that there is a body impaled on one, dressed in a very fine European Western-style suit. And it's just laying there underneath what looks like this massive, kind of, I would say, not massive is probably the wrong word, but this large set of risers that seems to circle around this pit. Where spectators are standing and jostling. A few are staring down and laughing at the body that is impaled on top of this post. And you can see a few are jostling. One of them almost falls and like quickly grabs and kind of pulls themselves. There's barely any like concern about whether or not people fall in. You can see that the floor, as you would get driven closer towards where this pit is, the floor is this hard packed dirt. And you can see there is this large sewer grate. It's about 4x4 at the center. There are these gaps in the grate that are probably big enough for you to like lose a foot in. Like you have to be careful in terms of stepping. It would definitely not be very safe on the street. And you also can see that there's like, it's just draining blood towards the center like it's a sink. You can also notice that there is a bonfire that's on this far side, like the far side of the arena, and you can see these pole torches and such that are kind of offering this illumination here and there and all over. As you are kind of driven forward, you notice that in the middle of that fighting pit, there is a figure that is already here. When you look at the grates, you can see that there is a fighter that is dressed like yourself, stripped all the way down to their skivvies. And they are repeatedly and monstrously hacking with their machete at what looks like a bloody and pulpy corpse that has been scattered into a series of chunky pieces. They stand, they look toward you. They could be Thai, they are scrawny, they are covered from head to toe in blood. They are missing their right ear. Their left arm has been hacked off beneath the forearm, and you can see blackened skin from the nub all the way up the elbow into the bicep. And off to the side, there is a wooden torch likely used to crudely cauterize it. You feel something suddenly in your hand, and when you look down, you see there is a machete. And then you feel a shove as you are pushed into the center of this arena. I need you to roll a sand test as the nectar now fully courses into you.
Oh boy. Sand is a 36.
Go for
I
it,
do
man.
have underlying insanity. Not
you
tiered.
do. That's why you don't have a... Okay.
84.
Oh.
Roll a d6, please.
5.
You take 5 points of sanity loss
Oh no.
as the
that's-
nectar courses through you. Except this is not the nectar, the effect that you recall. And as your objective mind begins to just bleed away, and this animalistic savageness starts to emerge, the last thought you might have before just pure red mist covers your eyes and you feel a rage come through, is that this feels different. Everything must bleed. Everything must be torn to shreds. You lose 5. You're going to suffer a bout of madness. The one that makes the most sense in this situation is violence. A red mist descends on you, and you explode in a spree of uncontrolled violence and destruction directed at your surroundings, allies, or foes alike.
Oh gosh, does he make an int roll first?
He can if he wants. Yeah, go ahead and roll an int. Actually, wait, no, this is about yeah, roll an int.
Yep. It is 40, not the highest.
Okay. You want to fail.
I rolled a 7, so I passed.
Okay.
Oh.
So everything I just said is true. And
good job, Long.
this is for temporary insanity.
So that it was all true.
Hang on. This is for temporary. I always get this screwed up. This is for temporary insanity.
Yeah, lost 5 or more sanity points as a result of 1 sanity roll.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I was doing his indefinite insanity thing because he was in a fragile mind. Okay. Yeah, thanks. 7 rounds. Okay.
Oh, gosh.
You have a machete. Now, if you look at your character sheet, Long, you can see the only thing you now have is knife large. That's the machete. Nothing else. If you look at your gear tab on Foundry, you will notice under items, I put Siamese Nectar High. That will let you know the mechanical effects of what this is. So when you're rolling, you know.
What's it say, Long?
Awesome.
You could tell them I would say you could tell them later. Don't tell them just yet. Okay. Now, let me double check. 1d6. This is going to be... Okay. Long, you see this fighter turn towards you. They're dripping blood, and you're not sure if it's their own. You see chunks of the flesh. You see this body that has been pulped like fruit that's gone underneath like a lawnmower. It's just ripped to shreds. You see some of it is dripping with the rivulets of blood towards the center grate, and chunks of it just fall between those holes in the irons. They look up at you, and then they charge. You, however, will actually get to go first because your dex is higher than theirs. So, Patrick, you are literally suffering from a bout of madness for violence. What do you do?
Blood.
I'll let you control yourself. So
yeah, and machete in my hand, I'll grip it as tight as possible, and I'll charge at him first.
Roll your attack, and they're going to fight back because that's the only thing that makes sense for them to do.
So I get a bonus die with my melee fighting.
That is true.
Which is brawl, I think.
It is brawl, yes.
Okay.
Fortunately, they also get one. All right.
I brawled 59. I rolled a 3. Extreme.
Okay. I succeeded, but you get an extreme success, so your attack goes through. Roll your damage.
Wow.
Extreme success when attacking does automatic max, so 8.
Okay, 8 points, and I think it's plus your DB. Do you have a damage bonus? I think that large knife has a damage bonus.
There's nothing on it. It says, I don't have one.
Oh, yeah, you do. You have a DB 0. Okay, yeah, you don't have one. It's based on like your strength and size combo, and so you wouldn't have one. Okay, you rush up, you hack away into this person, like their chest just suddenly blossoms with blood as the machete just cuts down into it. You feel somewhere numbly as the blade just crunches through the sternum, and you yank it free, and like this eruption of blood comes out, and they're still standing. However, I did just fight back. So fight back means I use my action, right? I always forget.
Looking it up.
I think so. I always forget.
I wasn't seeing
could be
that
wrong.
it uses it up. I think you're allowed to do that.
It's probably a different game.
I
I'm thinking.
think Dodge is the one that uses
Yeah.
it up.
Okay, they are going to then take their machete and they're going to swing back at you.
I'm gonna yank my machete out of him and fight back.
Okay. First one's a fail. Oh, okay. How did you do?
23 for me, which is a regular or a hard.
Okay. I rolled a 95 and an 89, so that is a fail. Roll your damage again.
Damage is a
damage
D8. There's the roll. 4 this time.
4. Describe how you think Patrick kills this guy.
After feeling the impaled first strike, it just sunk through so easily. Or yank it out, repeatedly hack at him until he falls to the ground.
And he falls to the ground. But that's the thing, Patrick. There's just this insatiable desire to just... He's still in one large piece. And like the body is still kind of twitching. And you feel like this urge to just continue hacking. Just like you saw when you first came in the arena.
Raise the machete above my head and swing it down until the body stops moving.
And you just you hear vaguely the sounds of cheers and screams and exultations from the crowd. And what you don't hear and you don't notice is that there are these voices over from the concrete stairs. And when you look back towards them eventually, once you feel as though you've hacked this thing as far as you could, and not unlike the man that you saw when you first came in here, you look up and you can see that there are 2 people, 1 man, 1 woman, dressed in skivvies, carrying machetes, walking into the arena floor. We're going to cut from there. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
You've survived round 1.
Gosh.
Rules point. The only time you lose your action is when you dive for cover when being shot at.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, because Long was already suffering from indefinite insanity, it was an automatic bound of madness for taking.
I thought so. That's what I
losses.
thought. I had double checked it before, but it's fine. Okay. We're gonna check in with Bev, and then we're gonna come back. Bev, we're gonna find you stumbling through the streets. You are on your own. You have no earthly idea where you're at. You never really got a good sense of where they took you. All you really know is that you are nowhere near the neighborhood that you were in for your hotel, nowhere near the neighborhood when you were by Daniel Lohman, and it is late at night. It is probably like 11, midnight-ish. You're not even sure. You're walking barefoot because if you recall, I think you threw your shoes and such.
I did.
Or kicked them off at one point. You don't have your purse because they I think the gun and everything, and so all kind of fell. So you are literally without much of anything. What do you want to do?
She's gonna keep walking until she gets kind of out of this area, at least, because she doesn't feel safe here. She wants to put some distance.
Okay.
And not really with any sense of purpose or direction. She just has that urge to go.
Okay. Give me either a maybe spot hidden or a navigate. They might give you slightly different bits of things, but one of those would do here.
Okay. Navigate's 30. What is... Oh, that's plant life. Never mind.
Natural world. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try spot hidden.
Okay.
Because I think she'd be definitely worried about yeah. We're just gonna see. Fail, 85.
Okay. So you turn around a corner and you get kind of out onto a larger street, and you can see that there are all sorts of like tenement housing, things like that, buildings that seem to be, none of them look to be particularly grandiose in design. Like you can tell you're still in this area that they took you to. There are some lights, these kind of showing in some of these windows here and there, but not many. It's fairly late at night, and there's no like street lights that appears to be like shining your way forward. It's around this time that, without warning, it just suddenly begins to pour rain. The sky just opens up, and you just feel this deluge of water just drench you. And maybe you look around. There's spot hitting, trying to find anywhere to get out from underneath this awning, like an archway, and you're looking, and you don't really spy anything. And then you notice that there is a man down the street in a trench coat and a hat. He is beneath this warmly lit window, and you can see he is underneath like this thick sill. It doesn't give like much overhang, but it's probably the only thing you see. And that's the only thing, anything you're able to see right now as the rain pours. The first person you've seen in quite a while.
And she'll kind of like, she won't like get super close to him, but she'll kind of like call out to see if he speaks English.
Yeah, so what do you say?
Excuse me, do you speak English? And then she'll attempt to say the same sentence in Thai.
And you hear, they got your scent, Bev. And the voice sounds very familiar. And you see the man turns around, and illuminated only partially by that window above him, you see the face of Pastor Wood. And you see the kind of the gray, dusty looking coat that is partially drenched from rain. They know who you are. You've been sloppy. Y'all been real sloppy.
What should we do?
Oh, there ain't no we. Not anymore. We've been sloppy since the start. And arrogant. Everything we've done, all we've done is delay. And not even significantly. Every place we went, we just left their most important tool, most important weapons. Trammell and Brooks are dead, but it's not like there's a shortage of cultists who will pick up those weapons and tools and do the bidding in their place. Sloppy.
I just wanted to help. I don't want to die.
Well, maybe it's about time that you and everyone else realizes that these aren't vacations you're on. This is life and death. And it's worse. It's much worse, Bev.
Where
Yeah.
Where have you been?
He just kind of shakes his head. If you get back to them, don't turn on each other here. All of you might not make it out, but don't turn on each other. And then he looks like for a second like he's gonna turn away, but then he stops. He looks back at you and he says, the body is one and hath many members. And all the members of that one body, being many, are one body. The eye cannot say unto the hand, I have no need of you. Nor again the head to the feet, I have no need of you. If one member suffers, all suffer together. And then you hear the sounds of like a car speeding up behind you as you're staring at him. You're maybe 10 feet or so from him. And you feel this big splash of water come over top of you as they just drive right through a puddle. And when you look back up, Pastor Wood is gone.
Oh, fuck. And she's just gonna kind of go and she'll huddle where he was standing for a little bit, as she tries to like just get her thoughts and stuff together.
And it is partially dry. The only partially dry place that you can see on this street.
And she's gonna try and find a way to go towards the airport where she knows Kearns is.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna try and see if there's a street sign nearby, or if there probably isn't street signs, but like a cafe where she can wait near for it to open or something.
If you're trying to navigate towards the airport, I would want a navigate test, and that's really just going to see how long it takes. If you're just looking for a place to huddle until morning, you can certainly try to do that. But I don't think that's a navigate test if that's the case.
No, I
Just
think
you
she's
tell
gonna
me.
try and find Kearns. 67 fail.
Okay. So what I'll say is, like, it's not like an instant fail. You start walking in the direction that you think the airport is, judging basic cardinal directions, that sort of such. And we'll fade out of that as you do your best to keep out of the rain. And then we will come back towards the sewers, where we see Will Sawyer trying to very slowly and very carefully, not slowly, but very quickly, but very carefully, trying to get this bar with his bayonet. Is that what you said it was? Like the bayonet edge, trying to lift that up.
Yes.
Okay.
Bayonet.
All right. I'll tell you what. Give me a give me like a sleight of hand would be ideal, but I would take a dex as well, but I would want a hard success. As you start having trouble getting this all the way up, that's where, like, when it's at waist high, it's fairly easy. But when you get all the way up towards the top and you're trying to like shoot it over top of the, like, where the hooks are, like about eye level or so, it becomes a little bit more difficult. So go right ahead.
Take a boost on this, and I'll definitely go dex still. Looking for a hard success means I'm looking for a 45 after the boost.
Okay.
That's an 85, so that is a fail.
Spend luck if you like.
Ah, shit. I forgot I could do that.
Oh,
that's
everybody,
a
roll
lot of
luck.
luck.
I'm sorry, you're supposed to do that at the start of the session?
We forgot.
Not my problem.
That's 40
For
luck.
once, I remember.
All right,
once
Patrick,
it
you're
only
worth
took
it.
30 something seconds.
Patrick is worth it.
I'm spending
That's
the
funny.
40 luck. I'm burning it.
Okay. And so you're able to launch with the last like kind of leverage of the bayonet, you launch this bar that has been covering the grate up and over, and it clatters very loudly on the ground. But you can push this grate open now if you want.
Absolutely. And I'm just rushing out. I'm not even worried about noise at this point. The clatter or whatever. I'm just bowling through, and then I'm looking at the other cell that Shima and Marie are in. And that one has like a lock on it, right?
None of these have locks. They're all like
Is-
crude bars or like posts. You don't see anything
So
that
it's the
requires
same
a
sort
key.
of thing where like I could just
Mhm.
lift it up and open it real quick.
Exactly.
Absolutely, as fast as I can, just popping it open.
Okay. Okay. You rush over. You flip over the bar, and that also clatters. But Shima and Marie, the door is open, and you can see there is Will standing in front of you.
I flash you a smile and I say, "Let's get out of here." And I start running towards the direction that we heard Patrick yelling from, which is probably not the best direction to go, but that's the direction I'm going.
That is without question going.
As you turn to run in that direction, you see at the far end of that passageway, a door opens, and you see stepping out into the passageway is a man that's probably about 5'8", 5'9", thick, broad shoulders. You see he's wearing, short sleeve or like ripped off shoulders, and he's carrying on his belt what looks like a large machete of some kind. And he looks up and he sees you, and you're maybe 30, 40 feet away. And then he calls back, "Hey! Yeah!" And he just and it's not even like words, it's just these guttural orders, and you hear the sounds of like chairs tipping over, people moving, and you start seeing like that doorway begins like a deluge of people coming in.
I
all right,
pull my pistol and start firing.
We'll go into. I just want to remember that this is what you decided to do. I really want you all to know this, so that when we start a new game next week, I don't want to hear it from anybody. And if you're thinking of putting a comment on the YouTube channel, just remember decisions. Okay. I mentioned 100 times. Very, very busy passageway. Okay. Let me get your dexes here. Will, what do you
dex.
got?
80.
Okay. Marie, what do you got?
70.
Shima, what do you got?
60.
Sounds so sad.
At some point, you'll realize that Call of Cthulhu is not a combat game. Okay, and then, it's just the three of you against the 25 people that are about to come at you. Okay, so they've got, let me look at them. What do they got? All right, I don't think any of them have higher dex than Will. Yeah, none of them have higher dex than Will or Marie. So, Will, you are first.
All right. This is our first time seeing Will in a fight. He pulls his pistol and just starts firing. He's got a 45 automatic. And the thing about Will is that he always tries to keep moving. So he's going to be like, as he's moving towards the tunnel, he's just firing, just trying, not necessarily trying to kill everyone, but he doesn't mind if he does, but just trying to like keep them at bay as he can like drive them off.
Okay, so you're running in their direction, firing at them to get to the stairwell.
Yes.
Okay.
They're past the stairwell is how I'm imagining this, right? Or are they actually in
So
front?
think of like a hallway. At the very end of the hallway, there's a door straight ahead, but then off to the side, right before that door, is a staircase going up.
But so just off to the side before the door where they are is the staircase.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're
so
not gonna
yeah,
get to
I'm
it.
hoping to get to the staircase
Yeah.
before they do.
You can hope, but you're not. So go right ahead and roll your shots.
All right.
Oh dear.
I'm not
dear.
Pastor Wood anymore, so I take penalties when I shoot more than once. That is an 18 on the first one, though.
Okay.
And I'll only fire 2 shots here.
Okay. Well, if you're firing 2 shots, you're definitely not running. Then you're actually standing.
Oh, you can't move and fire
still.
more than one shot?
Well, you can, but like if you move and shoot, like there's certain penalties that can come in play for trying to run and fire at the same time.
Okay, then I'll just stick with the one, whatever's fastest. Sorry.
So you fire and then just sort of run. Okay. All right.
18 is a hit, though. My where is it? My firearms handgun is 80, so that's a extreme success.
Okay. What's the damage?
It's 1d10 plus 2, which is a 10.
Okay. You get someone right in the chest. Does not take them out. 10 is not enough to take them out in one shot. But it is a palpable hit as you see an explosion of as you see like this rage state begin to form on their face, and they shout once more. Marie, what do you do?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
There are other people in other cells by us, right? Like
You're not sure. You're not sure. There could be, but you're not positive. You've heard some voices here and there, but you don't have a clear understanding of the layout and who's where.
Okay.
And you don't know who these people are or anything like that. So
Yeah. Oh, crap. Yeah, Marie's gonna come out and she will she's gonna shoot at the same
you come
one
out,
that,
and I'll say this.
Yeah.
You look
Yeah.
to the left, and you can see the hallway where Will is like already started to trot towards and fire his gun. One person got hit, but turns around and is just like growling at you. And you can see piling up behind that person not a small number of people who are probably going to pile out of that doorway momentarily. Off to the right, you see the passageway that eventually leads towards this circuitous kind of way, like a stairs that eventually went up and into the crazy like labyrinth warehouse that you went into. So that is the choice that you have in front of you.
oh gosh. We've lost Patrick, and we don't know where Bev is.
We came here looking for Beth.
Marie is going to go the way we came in, the way there are
Okay.
not a whole pile of people there.
Okay. You step out, you look over, and then you just start running in the opposite direction. Okay. Shima, you're tied with a few of them, but I think you should go first. So let's go with that.
Shima is slipping on her brass knuckles and yelling, and which are in her pocket, yelling, "Give us our friend and we leave!" And charging at whichever one is closest and taking a swing.
Okay. I don't think you could get all the way there in swing on the same turn. You're running about 30 or so feet down the hall, but you can certainly get right up to him.
And I would love to do that, please. Making sure to have yelled that. And
Okay. It is their turn. The first one who got shot by will step half a step forward and will swing at you then, Shima, with his machete. You can fight back or brawl, or fight back or dodge as you see fit.
can I fight back, please?
Yeah.
That's just a regular brawl.
You're brawling because you've got your knuckles.
But you've got to beat them. You can't match them.
Yep.
19 under 85.
Okay, 19 under 85 is a
hard.
That's a hard success. So you could spend 2, I believe, to make that an extreme success.
That'd be great.
Okay. Roll your damage. As they swing at you, you duck, and then you throw the knuckles.
Do I get my damage bonus on this?
What's in your sheet? Sheet should tell you, hopefully.
Damage bonus is 1d4, but I don't know if I get it in fight backs or just.
I don't think the fact that it's fighting back matters. I think it's determined by weapon.
Okay.
Okay.
And then and my damage bonus is added, which is a d4, so it's a d3 plus d4 plus 1.
Okay.
which is a 6.
Okay. You throw your punch. You feel the jaw crunch under you. And you can see teeth fly out of the mouth and blood. And he definitely begins to sort of wobble a bit, but doesn't fully fall. Okay. Then one more piles out of the door from behind. I'm going to see if he races towards Will or if he just goes for the fresh meat in front of him. Goes for the fresh meat in front of him. So he's going to charge up on Shima, and he's going to swing his machete down. Okay, you can fight back. I think I get a bonus die now, though, since this is your second time doing it.
Yeah. I think you might even get a gang up bonus.
Not yet.
Okay.
So fight back attempts after the first take a penalty die. I think is that right? Did we get that right, Steven, or did we change it? I can't remember. Is it a bonus die or a penalty die?
I'm looking at it right now.
I remember we wrote it one way.
Without anyway, so I'll just roll separately. If just let me know.
What's the rules question again?
So when it comes to like the outnumbering stuff, when more and more, like whenever a person fights back for the second time, does she get a penalty die on it, or do my attacks get a bonus die?
The
Fight
attacker
back
gets
attempts
bonus.
after the first take a penalty die.
Well, that's what I wrote in the primer, but I think we might have gotten that wrong at one point.
Oh, okay.
All subsequent melee attacks on them are made with a bonus die.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I just didn't change it in the primer. Okay, so
But
so you're just rolling.
Sorry to interrupt, but if I dodge, you don't get a bonus.
If you dodge, it has to be
it's
equal.
once you have done either. All
Thank you.
attacks. As
Yeah.
soon as you've done
Thank
one,
you.
it happens.
Thank you.
Okay, so what did
You can
so
still
you
fight
rolled already?
back and still do the dodge now, but his attacks have the bonus die.
Sure.
Okay.
So just straight roll then for me, or I
Yep.
roll with the and that's.
Are you dodging or are you
34.
fighting back?
I'm fighting back.
Okay.
And it's a 34 under an 85.
Okay. That 34 under 85 is a hard success.
Hard.
I rolled a
Yep.
6, which is an extreme success. So that's going to go through.
Can I spend luck to?
No, because you're
You
trying
wouldn't
to
be able to
fight
beat an
back,
extreme
and you
success.
can't beat an extreme
Love it.
success.
Thank you.
So let me check these weapons these guys got. Damage bonus plus D8. Okay. Okie dokie. All right. So first swing on Shima. It's extreme success. So Patrick, what was the extreme success thing that you were talking about?
It said I get maximum damage on the weapon,
Okay.
plus max damage bonus as well, if there is any.
Because it's an extreme success and it's like a. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that true? Oh, God. Oh, goodness. All right. That's 8 points
These
of
guys are
damage.
hopped
Then.
up on nectar too.
Oh, God. I totally forgot to roll the nectar dice, too.
Oh,
that's
God
8 points of
damn it.
damage. Okay.
8 points. Jeez.
One comes out. Another one piles out of the room, and I'm going to see whether it takes the fresh meat in front of him or continues after Will. It's going to take the fresh meat in front of him. And it is going after Shima once more. So now there are 3 people hacking away at Shima down the hall.
Risk it however you want, but statistically, dodge is your best option.
Yeah. This time I think I will dodge.
Okay. All right.
If I hadn't taken the last hit, I would know.
It's just going to get worse from here, guys. I'm sorry. Okay. How'd you do? I have a hard success as my best on with my bonus dice.
36 under 84 for dodge.
For dodge. Okay, so that is a success. That is a hard success, in fact. So you're able to dive down to the ground, and so you are now. Actually, no. This is just dodging. This isn't. This isn't hit the ground. Okay. All right. So yeah, you just dodge out of the way. That's it. Okay, so that is A, B, and C. Another one will pile out of the room, and we'll decide between fresh meat or down the hall. This one will run down the hall and will not quite get to Will, but Will, there is one now but in your face between you and the stairs. But not enough to get there and attack on the same turn, I'm going to say. Then, so that was D. Okay, E is going to pile out and is going to make a decision between fresh meat or down the hall. Is also going to run.
Bottleneck them. That was my problem.
Is also running down the hall. So now you have two in front of you, Will. None of them are carrying guns. All you see are blades. Then F is going to run out now. He's going to make a decision between fresh meat. F is going to run down the hall. You now have three that are in front of Will. H is going to run out of the room now and is going to make the decision between fresh meat or down the hall. H is going to run by Will. And so now there are four that have run and have now filled into the room. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I is going to run out of the room now. And is going to go for Shima. Okay, Shima, you dodge out of the way. A fourth one now closes in on you. And, yep. Right. So, dodge or fight back?
I'm gonna dodge on this.
That's pretty good right there.
13 under 84.
Okay. I rolled a 4. So that is an extreme success. 13 under 84 is also an extreme success, though. Yeah. Dodge does meet, so you do manage to dodge out of the way.
Oh,
that was clutch, my Trey.
Thank you for reminding me about that rule, Stephen.
Okay, so that's I. So I got to keep track of where they're all at. Because there's so freaking many.
That's
right.
That's awesome.
We're running too far down the alphabet.
A, B, C, D,
No.
E, F, G.
At least he didn't get to double
counting.
letters. That would have been the problem. If he's like, okay,
Right.
now henchman AA.
I mean,
J-
yet, I feel like at the
Jay
end of
pours
that,
out
yet,
of the room and is going. I'm not done yet. This one's going to also rush past Shima and is now going to pile into the hall. K is now going to rush out and is going to push past Shima into the hall. And then finally, L is going to push out for Lollygagger and is going to go to
Eek.
Shima. Okay, so there are 5 now around Shima. Okay. All right, Shima.
Can I dodge again?
You certainly can. All right.
That's a 6 under an 85. 84.
That's okay.
These
I
are
have
clutch.
You have like
3
1,000 bonus
chances.
dice.
I don't think they stack, but the one from Nectar stacks. So,
But
okay.
she got an extreme, so unless you roll like a 1, I don't.
I
think
did
you
roll
can.
a 1
Yeah.
on one of my 3D100s. So critical damage. Oh, goodness. So critical damage, is that the same as, let's see. Let's take a look at this. Extreme successes. Get the same effects as non-impaling plus extra damage roll. Okay, so extreme success is when attacking with a penetrating weapon, which is bullets, blades, and spears. Get the same effects as non-impaling weapons. I get so long. I think you get an extra damage roll as well. I think you get.
Okay, I must have missed that. That's fine.
Yeah, I think No, I think you get full damage with the damage die and an extra roll. Let's double check this.
because the machete would be a blade. So it's
It is a blade.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
I'm gonna leave this up before I
maximum
roll, 'cause I
damage
don't-
plus the penetrating.
Oh, wow.
All right. Sorry, I'm just looking for the penetrating stuff really fast, or impaling, I should say. Impaling damage, which means all shots. Okay, no, that's for guns. It's different.
And this is another one of those I can't spend luck on it.
You can't spend luck to get to a critical success, unfortunately. So extreme success is when attacking with a penetrating weapon, bullets, blades, and spears. This would be counted as a blade. Gets the same effects as non-impaling weapons above. So the non-impaling weapons, they automatically do maximum damage. Plus, they get an extra damage roll for the weapon. That's what it is, Long. So full damage plus an extra for the blade. So, all right. So then that means this is going to be 14 points of damage to Shima. As another machete comes down.
I'm down to 2 hit points. Does that make me unconscious?
that's Delta
no, I think major
Delta Green,
wound.
sorry.
But you would have taken a major wound though, as that 14 points of damage is more than half of your total HP.
Yeah.
Okay, and that is the last of mine. So you will fall prone, Shima, and you have a major wound. I'm going to say since you tried to dodge, the machete comes in and catches you like in the hip. And so you'll have like this big splurt, and you might have just have this major gash along the side of your body as you were trying to dodge out of the way. Comes back around to you guys. Will, you currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 now that have piled into the hall with you, somewhere between where Shima is and where you all are, which is about 30 or so feet.
I see Shima take a machete and go down to the ground.
Yes. And it's very hard to see her because there's so many people in this very busy passageway.
Yeah. Shima, we've known each other a long time. And you've really made an impression. I do have some respect for you. But yeah, shit. And I turn and run. I can't make it through that many people. I was hoping to make it to the stairs, and there's no chance.
Okay, fair enough. So Will, biting off more than he can chew, sees Shima go down, fall, turns and runs. Marie, you're next. Marie, you had turned to the right, so the only way I would say you would see Shima fall as she is surrounded by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, yeah. 6. So there's 6 of them by actually an even split. It was random. So it's 6 and 6. So Marie, you would need to roll a spot hidden to see it. Or you can just say Marie is continuing to run.
Run.
Oh, I hate myself right now. Yes, Ashley, I know. But I need to consider the fact that, like,
my next character is going to be a lot of fun. Don't worry about it.
Oh, shit. Marie was running, and so for the sake of my sanity, I'm not going to roll the spot hidden to
Don't worry,
see
I would add like a penalty die to it because there's so many people in the tunnel, in the passageway that have piled out of that room now.
And I'm blocking your sight as I'm moving past you. So.
He's wild and crazy. Okay.
And oh my gosh, Marie is running in the other direction and feeling very awful. Pit in her stomach is bigger than any pit in her stomach has ever been.
Okay. So Marie is running
and trying desperately to find, because she had been making little like lipstick marks in this 150,000 turns that we made on the way in, and she's desperately trying to run.
We'll get to that in a minute. You're not even there yet. There's still some sewers that you have to pass through to get to the stairs that would even take you to that strange warehouse building labyrinth and such. Okay. Shima, you have taken a major wound and a couple small wounds, and you look up and you can see that there are raging men and women. Some are Thai, some are Caucasian. You can see some look like they're just like the rest of you, like you're visitors here in this land. And all of them have either knives or hooks, or they have big old blades, like these giant machetes dripping with blood. They're effectively surrounded you at this point, and you hear the sounds of footsteps running away from you. Shima, what do you do in this situation?
Whole purpose of this was to keep everybody else safe. So she's gonna keep swinging to keep people here and not chase after who she fucking hopes is Marie behind her.
Okay. You're on the ground. You're swinging, so you're just kind of wildly swinging and punching and kicking on the ground.
If my whole movement is getting up, then I'm getting up.
It's not like D&D or like movement action and action. So it's like if you want to stand,
I would love to stand because I don't think I'll be able to be as effective prone.
Yeah, there's still the one that you managed to cold cock in the face is definitely like woozy. You can see their face. You can see the look of somebody on the verge of collapsing.
Sweet.
They have 1 health basically is where they're, and so they're just. Okay. Yeah. So what would you like to do?
I'm gonna take him out or her out.
Go right ahead. She is outnumbered. Does she take a penalty die when outnumbered when fighting too?
As far as I can tell, no. The outnumbered only talks about when you're being attacked more than.
Thank you. Okay. We have to update the primer.
It's 78 under an 85.
Okay, these guys know nothing but attacking, so they will, even if they can't, try to fight back. Or even if they're not as good as you, they're going to still try. Okay, so that is a 40, which is a regular success. So I have a regular success. How did you do?
Mine was also regular success.
Okay, so he fought back, so he would have to beat you, and so since he failed, okay. All right. So any damage is gonna knock him out. He's got literally 1 HP, so you can just sort of describe it if you want.
Yeah, it's 4 damage, and it's not more complicated than just like a hammer to the jaw.
Okay, so that is you have knocked out A. Okay. All right, so there's still B, C, I, and L that I think are against you. I'm sorry. And D. Sorry. Okay. All right.
Sorry, I'm like forcing you into this war of attrition.
No, it's fine. Okay. You keep swinging. So honestly, they're not going to show mercy. So they're going to swing.
You need to keep me here. That's the whole point.
All right. So he's attacking. Are you dodging or trying to fight back?
I'm dodging. I'm sorry. I'm just looking at certain luck rules about death. I'm so sorry, but I'm dodging.
That's fine. Actually, we'll let your previous turn go through just fine, but I need you to roll a contest, actually.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Just a straight up Constitution.
Okay. That is a 63 under 70.
Okay, you're fine because you took a major wound. You roll a Constitution check, and if you fail, you go unconscious. But you succeeded, so you're still going. Okay.
Sweet.
All
sorry,
right.
I said I was dodging, so I'm gonna dodge.
Okay.
27 under 84.
You absolutely dodge out of the way of the first one. I'm just going to do the ones on Shima all at once. That was B. C is going to attempt. You're now, since this is your second time doing it, he's going to get a penalty die as he tries to swing. Dodge or fight back again.
Dodge again.
Sometimes I hate when I see the lolly die.
Oh, what'd you roll?
73 under 84.
I rolled another 1. So that's another critical
What the
success.
fuck?
I'm sorry. I have like
No,
a
no,
bunch
it's-
of
it's
I have
great.
like a bunch of bonuses and such. You're like super
have-
surrounded.
No one here is blaming you, Jeff.
In character, I have no
I
idea.
feel
they're
really
on
bad.
Nectar. Don't
Okay.
We know you do.
In character, I don't know they're on Nectar. Out of character, like, I fucking love that they're on, like, this other Nectar. Like, that
Okay.
makes... I'm really into that.
Okay, so the last we see as we kind of fade from there, is that's more than enough once he does the damage because you have 2 HP left, right?
Steven just sent me some things that
Don't
I
call me out.
completely
Don't call me
forgot. Can I? So 30 luck points minimum spend regard avoiding certain death. Which I have. I don't know if that is.
You absolutely can avoid certain death in this situation, but you absolutely cannot get out of this prison in this situation. I'm okay with saying this. You survived the blow. I don't think we've set this fiction up for any remotely viable reason why you would suddenly appear at the hotel with them. I'm just gonna say that. Okay.
I'm okay if I'm not able to at all, like given that there's
No. I'm okay
10
with it.
guys
Like,
on me.
yeah.
Okay.
I just
And it does burn all of your luck. It's 30
and it's-
minimum, but you're down
Yeah.
to 0.
Okay.
Which is fine. I don't have that much more above 30 anyway.
I think you have 40. Look like okay.
Yeah.
So you basically, the last thing we see as we start fading away from it is they continue to kind of just swing at her, but maybe it's like fists and like the blunts of weapons at this point, as opposed to them like hacking her to pieces right now. And that's the last thing we see as like we kind of fade out of that. And then we come up and we are once more in the arena, and we can see Patrick and we can see these 2 other people. There's no rules. This is just craziness. As you can see, like the 2 of them immediately, right when like their goalers just step away, they hack at each other, and you watch the woman with quickness that you wouldn't have expected, Patrick, just swing this backsided swing like a tennis racket, and you see it buries right into the neck of this man who was looking at you the whole time, and he just collapses to the ground. And you are still suffering from the effects of nectar, and then she starts coming at you. And,
I will run you through.
okay.
I'll charge her too.
All right, man. Do it. Give it a roll. I will fight back because there's no reason that these would do anything other. God damn.
22 for me, which is a hard.
Okay. I got a 13 for me, which is also a hard. Oh, no, it's not. That's an extreme. 13 under 40. No. I'm so 13 under 40 would be, yeah, it's just a hard success. I'm talking about because was 1/5 is the, not 1/3 is the extreme. So hard. You can spend. Oh no, I was fighting back. Never mind.
Well, on a fight back, he would beat the tie.
Yeah, he wins.
I'll do 4 damage, so I get a nice cut out of her.
Okay. You have no damage bonus.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Shima might have been the only one of us that has a damage bonus. If I
don't know how to get a
correctly.
damage bonus in Call of Cthulhu. I've never
Size
made
and
a
con.
I think it's a strength thing.
I think it's size and
Size.
con.
Okay.
I think that's a combination, or size and strength, something like that. It's a combination of two attributes. Okay, she swings at you as you should, like she's like swings at you and then like leans in as well and like tries to like bite at you. Okay.
I fight back with her.
Oh man, how'd you do?
Results are coming in. A 41. It's a regular this time.
Okay, that is not enough. As I also have a regular with a 39. So She does not have a damage bonus either, but she'll do D8 to you. She'll do 4 points of damage to you, Patrick, as you feel the machete grind into your side. And then she just starts gnawing and biting away at your face.
It's not enough. And I'll hack back at her
Okay.
until one of us dies.
That's literally how this goes. I told you it's not a fight club.
Say roll 41.
Oh my gosh.
Regular.
Same roll. Okay, let me see what I roll
Again?
here.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be
Jeez.
Oop, that's a D8. Why am I rolling that? I fail actually on both of mine. Yeah, that's a 54 and a 64. So that's a fail for me.
Machete likes
give
doing
me-
4s.
4 more damage.
Yeah,
That's
not
not
the
enough to take her out. She does not look good though, as she is spouting blood from both sides of her body. But she seems undeterred, and she's going to lunge at you. And are you fighting back or dodging or anything?
Yeah, I'm just continuous fighting back. Just non-stop
Okay.
fighting back.
Go ahead.
Exchange of blows. Blood and cuts flying everywhere. I passed regular.
All right. I fail. 77 and a 97. That actually is a critical fail for her. However, I don't think it's going to matter if you do 2 damage or more. She's dead.
5.
Describe how you take her out.
Her swing comes down. My swing connects with her. It severs her arm. Goes straight through her chest.
And she just flops to there. For a moment, like her arm falls and twitches, and it looks like she's going to continue to come at you. And then she falls limply thereafter. You hear the crowd once more, like this dull throb of the crowd. You hear the sounds of laughter, and you turn around and you see that this well-dressed, heavy-set man, like this big white and gray mustache, and he's definitely got some receding hair. You can see he fell, and his hair is now kind of messed up from the comb over, and the glasses, the spectacles he was wearing are fractured, and he too is like cackling madly. But you can see that he's fallen onto the actual floor of the arena, and he gets up, and he's got like blood dripping down in his face. What do you do, Patrick?
The only thing I know and want to do right now. I'm gonna lunge at him.
Okay, go right ahead. And he's kind of getting his bearings. He turns around at you, and he sees you coming at him. And I'm gonna dodge. See if we can get out of the way of this. God
Hard,
damn.
27.
70. Okay, so roll your damage.
4.
Okay, you
Oh my gosh.
hack down into him, and then he falls to the ground a bit, spurting blood. He's not completely out, but he looks at you, and you can tell just by looking at him. And again, your mind is the objective, smart segments of your brain are receded, but somewhere in the back, you might hear whispers as like that violent center of your brain is driving you. But you can see that they also seem to be under some kind of effects as they reach out with their hands, they grab your leg, and they just start biting at your ankles. And so he is going to attack you. You can fight back
while
if
he's
you like.
fighting at me. Yeah, fighting back.
Absolutely. That's better.
Extreme 6.
Not as good as that. Okay, so that is better than mine. Roll your damage.
This is with my feet, so it's gonna be D3 max. I'll
Okay.
kick his teeth in. For 3 damage.
Okay, and 3 damage is enough as you kick his teeth in, and then you keep kicking until his head just kind of collapses underneath your feet, and he slumps to the ground. There's a roar in the crowd again. You hear laughter, you hear chants. All of it's very kind of, again, dull and distant. But at a certain point, Patrick, as roughly 7 rounds of combat, you feel some of that violent mist starting to drench away that whatever overtook you. The nectar is still there. You still feel anger. You still feel rage. But then you're looking down and you can see all around you there's bodies. And you see, as you've got your foot about to come down into this man's head once more, your foot is covered in bone and blood and beard hair. And you look back and you can see rushing from the sides of the room, there are some of those like gaolers, those people who kind of escorted you, and they're carrying these long kind of cane sticks, and they're two of them are coming up towards you, and they're like holding these spears against you. You see one goes over towards where the grate is, where the body of the very first man you killed, where the bodies of the next two, and you can see they start just hacking it up and feeding it down through the grate, like they're just pushing it down through the grate in the center. And then once they're done, they come over, and while these two are again like they have like these long spears on you, they grab the foot of this heavy set Caucasian man and they drag him, and you see them starting to like pull his clothes off at this point, rip the tie out, digging through his pockets, pulling out this big pocket watch, this giant wallet, these coins just cascading across the ground here and there. And once they've stripped him, they just start hacking him into pieces at this point. We're going to cut away from this. And we are in the sewer.
Lots of cutting.
Will and Marie, who are running away from Shima and from Patrick and from these cells. We're going to turn this into a chase, as you have 6 people who have been following you. E, F, G, H, J, and K are their names. So
McDonald.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's who's following you. There's so much going on in this episode. It's ridiculous. Okay. So
lots of cutting of people, of scenes, of hearts.
I warned you.
Oh, for sure. We were
I
in
frequently warned you. Okay.
large
so
amounts of danger.
This is that crit success with automatic guns all over again.
Okay. Okay, so I've got my 6. Sorry, just gonna take a second to get this situated.
Yeah.
Let me get people who are actually participating. Sorry, I haven't cleaned this up from when I last did it. Let's put Will up there. Okay, so you guys are getting chased essentially through these sewers. Okay. I need both of you to go ahead and roll a con test.
I'll take a boost.
Yeah.
I'm also going to take a boost.
Feels like it might be useful in this situation. What do I know?
It feels like I need to do everything that I possibly can.
Oh, yeah.
Twirl the Twitch said, remember when Melissa wanted a night's rest instead of going to the tea shop?
Indeed. Remember, indeed.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that at all. Nope, I've blocked that out.
Some discussion about going to the police or the consulate or something in the morning. It's something about that. 16 was Marie's con roll.
I owe my success entirely to the audience. I rolled a 63, which would have failed, but instead is now a pass.
Jesus. I just rolled so bad for these guys. It's ridiculous. All right.
Does the degree of success matter? Because I'll spend
Extreme adds 1 to the
yeah, it does.
hard
Yeah, it does
success
actually. Okay.
Okay, so I got to do math.
I know. We always do. So we got Will and we've got Marie. All right. Let's start with you, Will. How did you do?
Regular success, movement of 9.
Okay. So you got a movement of 9. Thank you very much. Marie, how did you do?
So I rolled a 16, and so I'm going to spend the 4 luck to make it an extreme success.
Okay. So you're going to get, what is your speed? What is your movement rate right now in your sheet?
Sorry.
It's under
Movement is 8.
appearance.
And then you get a +1 because you get an extreme
so it's
success.
9.
So your movement is also 9. Okay, so these guys are not as good, unfortunately. 2 of the 4 passed, and 4 of them failed. So they have a movement of... Where is it? That's not right. That's the wrong thing. There we go. They have a movement of 8. So then for them... let's see. Failure means it's -1. So they have... So 4 of them basically have a movement of 7. And 2 of them have a movement of 8. Goodness gracious. Okay. So then what we do is we reduce the lowest speed of all participants to 1, which is the ones that are 7. And so it took 6 to reduce them down. Okay. And so then go ahead. And so then we reduce everybody else's score by the same number, which means the 2 of you are both at 3. This is how many movement actions, is how many actions you get when your turn comes around. Okay. So for me, I have 4 that get only 1 action, and I have 2 that get 2 actions, and the 2 of you will both get 3 actions. Then I'm going to say starting locations. I'm going to put Marie up to 3 as she started running on the first turn and kept running. And I'm going to put Will basically at 2. And then the rest of these guys are going to be at 1. Sound good? Make sense?
All 4.
Okay.
Okay. And then... All right,
Marie,
let's
we're
make
not
sure...
forgetting anyone, are we?
Nope. So crazy. Okay, and then
I'm
highest dex
silently
goes
shaking
first.
my head.
So Will, you're going to get to go first, then Marie, and then all of them. So it's literally that order. Just to refresh your memory, when it comes to running, or when it comes to actions, I should say, excuse me. Actions you can do, you can move forward in the chase, so effectively you move to the next location. Sometimes there's hazards and barriers that you might have to roll a check to bypass. Sometimes it'll be clear, sometimes it won't. Then there's other things that you could potentially do. You can initiate an attack if you wanted to use fighting or firearms, drive auto too, but that's obviously not going to be useful here. Can cast a spell, or you can perform some other action, such as like picking a lock. You can also try to hide. And so that's what Pastor Wood did that one time in the hospital that rendered the chase moot, literally 5 seconds in. Okay. I was very excited to use those chase rolls. And then there we go.
I think you'll get a
So,
chance this time.
Let me reset the
was a
scene.
stealthy boy.
Let me reset the scene. The 2 of you have rushed down the passageway. Marie, you're up in front. You have seen 1 or 2 ancillary passages to the right or to the left along the way. You can hear voices and see lights down them, but you don't see anybody cutting you off. You know enough to know that those were not the route that you came in. So if you went down them, you would be exploring something new. So if you're looking to retrace your steps, it's basically just a straight run, and then there's a couple circuitous turns, and then you reach a set of stairs that goes back up into one of those warehouses. Okay. So right now you're still in the sewer. Once we get out of the sewer, you're going to be in this labyrinth, and then we'll deal with some other issues that might come into play there. So Will, they are much closer to you, and you can hear the sounds of them screaming, cursing. You can hear the sounds of footsteps from various directions, people shouting. You can even hear the vague, like, thunderous applause from whatever is going on upstairs. And you can see up ahead of you is Marie. The passageway is, again, everything's kind of stone, but it's a little bit of sludge here. There's a lot of, it's not in great condition. Nothing here is in good condition. You find yourselves like running across like these small wooden like boards that kind of reach over top of one side of the sewer to the next instead of splashing down into the water itself. And it's very, very dark the further you get away from this cell chamber where there were some lanterns. But as you continue to rush away from it, it's getting darker and darker. So, Will, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
I get 3 actions on my turn, right?
That's correct.
And most of them get 1 action. Did you say some of them get 2?
Some of them will get 2 actions, yes.
I would like to spend 2 of my actions to move and 1 action to shoot back, and just the intent is not necessarily to kill, but just to like hope that they slow down narratively, I guess.
Okay.
Like covering.
We can say that it was like a harry as opposed to like stopping and putting into combat.
yeah,
You're really just trying to deter them in some way. Okay. Okay, so when you rush up, you get up to Marie, and you can see Marie at this point is like looking around as there's this intersection of 3 different pathways. One to the right you can see is like narrow, and there's like some archway down the path, and like what almost looks like a shrine with these little candles and such. Off to the left, it's much more sparse, but you do see that eventually the left path turns out of a corner. But you can see that straight ahead, there's it's much greater darkness, but you're pretty sure that's the way to go. And you rush forward into it with your second movement action.
Yeah, if I'm pretty sure, then I'm pretty sure.
When you get to the next space, when you kind of rush into that darkness, you feel yourself you feel like the walls kind of closing in at a certain point, and then you like pop out and you find yourself on like the upper portion ledge of a sewer, and there's that kind of channel that's a little bit deeper below you, but you don't see like a bridge immediately in front of you. You would need to, so this is effectively an obstacle essentially, like this is like a hazard. So it would require some sort of check to get across, either whether it's leaping or some other thought you might have. It could be anything else. Below you, it is thick tar and sludge on the ground. You can't tell if it's just hideous to look at or if there is something more nefarious down there. To quickly get across without having to like circumvent and go around. Like the other thing you could do is you could roll a navigate to try to find your way to a bridge. Like it's very flexible in terms of what you want to do here.
As soon as you described how awful it was, my first thought was that I should jump in and hide in it. But that probably would not be a good option.
Okay.
Now we're worried about making the bad decision.
Well, I don't want to dirty my clothes. That's a lot of laundry. I want to try
all
and
in your system.
I feel like navigate would like slow me down. I'm better at navigate than jump, but I would like to try and jump just to risk it for some more momentum.
Absolutely. Roll a jump test to get across. So this is like this is you trying to essentially overcome this small hazard or barrier.
And if I fail, I get to do plan A. So I'm going to take some audience.
Well, no, if you fail, I think you can. So if you succeed, you just move as normal. If you fail, in this case, this is what I call a hazard. So that would cost 1d3 additional movement actions to cross and possible damage. A barrier would stop progress and could also cause possible damage. So this isn't like the thing where like it's going to completely stop you, but it might harm you as you try to cross it.
Gotcha. Okay. I was just making the joke that I would end up in the sludge anyways.
This isn't a joking matter, Stephen.
I know. I can't help it. I joke when I'm nervous.
Lives are...
That's what happens when you get us fired up.
I took
about
2 audience
Thor
boosts here.
before stream. You start hacking people to death in a
You got
fight.
me riled up. I had to shoot someone.
almost forgot about it. And here we are again.
Dude, if you ran up to the pit too, you have no idea how bad that would have been. It's hilarious. Oh goodness.
I will never fail a jump in this game. As Pastor Wood or Will. I rolled a 4, which is extreme success.
You leap across and you can continue moving as normal. Okay. The other thing I should say, I forgot to mention this, you can always spend 1 movement action to buy 2 bonus die to on the roll to overcome a hazard. Like that's always an option. So if you're worried about crossing it. All right, so you get across.
So it was my 2 actions to move then. And I was talking about my 3rd action being to Harry. Would it be possible that we could say that I'm able to give Marie a bonus die by me spending my... That's what I'd like to do then. Like trying to carry them.
Yeah. You turn around, you wait, and like you have a handout waiting for Marie to come. Absolutely. Okay. Marie, you have 3 actions. You can hear them behind you. What would you like to do?
So trying to figure out action economy here. So it would take me 1 movement action to get to where he is, or 2 movement actions to get where he is.
Just 1.
Just 1. Okay.
Yeah.
So
he's 1
I
ahead of you.
will. Okay. I will spend the 1 to get to him.
Mm-hmm. And now you're at that kind of that river of sludge in the sewer that he had to leap across, but you see him over there, like waiting and kind of motioning to try to help you across. So this, you also have to make a check to cross. But if you do it, because Will has given you his action to help, you're going to get a free bonus die on it, on whatever it is, like the jump, basically.
Okay. And my jump is only a 20.
Okay.
So
the other thing you could potentially
Mine was
do
2.
is you could spend one of the 2 remaining movement actions you have to get 2 more bonus
another.
dice. And that means you would have 3 bonus dice on this jump check.
Yeah, so it's 1 movement action for 1 bonus dice. So I think it's like
One
a 1 for
movement
1,
action
2
to
max.
buy. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's 1 for 1, and you can buy it 2 max. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I don't want to cheat.
We do that all the time. It's fine.
Okay, so I've got 1 free.
Logan said it already. He said what everyone was thinking. Melissa in jumping.
Oh, I
If you crit
genuinely.
you
so
clearly
I'm
Stressed
offering
ahead.
you a hand to stop you.
even
from falling.
I have 2 bonus, so I'm at my max bonus. So 1
Okay.
free from you and 1 free from a movement spend. So I have 1 movement action left after this.
Okay.
I am rolling under 20 because that's just what my stat. And so I'm also going to take 2 boosts.
Oh,
to roll
okay.
under
They get
40.
a boost too.
Heck yeah.
Thank you, audience.
See, that's the thing. When people get mad at me for being harsh, I just want everyone to remember you all get so many boosts I got to make it harsh to mitigate. It's the only way. Otherwise, you guys would just be sailing through everything.
We've spent a lot of boosts so far this session. We still have over 60 left.
Where are my
because we have a
complications
generous
at?
audience.
Where are my complications at? Where are them?
We don't do
We're
complications.
burning
Listen.
through them. So
Okay.
thankfully, I also rolled a 2. So I rolled
Fantastic.
a 42, a 22, and a 2.
I like to think it's one of those things where you leap across and it looks like you're about to fall, and then Will grabs you and kind of pulls you the rest of the way so you don't fall back into the muck. So you are across the way. You can still hear them shouting and chasing after you. There's occasional torches here and there, but it's extremely dark down here. Looking up ahead, like if you look to your right as you jump across, you can definitely see there's some damage to the passageway to your right. Like it's possible if you took time to like move some of that damage, you could climb up it, but they would be on you in a heartbeat. The clear path is to the left, and you can see what looks like the bottom steps of that stair that you think you all came up. You think you're not like 100% sure, but you're relatively confident. Heading left, there is a set of stairs. So you have 1 more action left, Marie.
I would go the way that seems the clear way, which
If you
was
like,
to the left.
Okay, so you rush to the left, and you see that there is this set of what looks like these rough, almost broken stairs, and you can see it goes up into darkness above, but it definitely goes up. Okay, so that's the end of your guys' turn. So in this case, there's no specific hazard in that space. It's now their turn. So what do I got? They're going to basically, I'm going to put the 2 on the top are the ones that are going to get the 2 actions. I'm going to put those 2 up so they just start chasing. And then the ones that have 1 action will be on the bottom side. Sorry, stream. We have a tracker, but it's not really worth showing stream. It's just freely for us just to keep track of where people's positions are. I don't know why Pastor Wood's on here. He's dead. Let's get rid of him. Okay, there we go.
Oh,
No,
He's hanging out with Beth.
he was in this session.
Was he? I
Yes,
didn't
he
see
was,
him.
and he was happy. He was living
Was he?
his best life.
Was he?
that's
He's at
happy.
a farm upstate.
With Merlin.
Okay. Comes back around to you. Will, as you're looking down the tunnel that you just came out of, you can see 2 of them emerging and racing. Both of them have machetes. One of them is carrying what looks like a torch, like an actual flame torch, and you can see the color getting closer. You can see Marie ran off to your left after you grabbed her from falling, and she is like on her way up the first 2 or 3 sets of stairs, but you can kind of see the tail end of her as she races up. Will, you have 3 actions. What would you like to do?
This time I would like to try and shoot one of them, preferably the one with the torch, for one of my actions.
Okay. Okay. So let me double check the rules for attacking, because the rules for attacking are a little bit different. Okay, so firearms are involved, so you're okay. It's limited to the usual number of attacks per round. They are resolved as they are in a regular combat. I still have the option to fight back or hit. I can't fight back in this case, but I could hit the deck or something like that, which they won't. Okay. So, yeah, I think you're good. Go ahead and roll.
All right. So firearms is an 80. Shit, that's an 87. So yeah, just whiffed it.
Spend luck.
Oh yeah, I always forget I can do that. Absolutely.
It's only 6. Yeah, absolutely.
It's 7. So yeah, I'm spending 7.
That will hit, and you see one of them, like the one carrying the torch. Like there's like a small stumble. What's the damage on that?
6.
Okay, they do not fall. They stumble, but they stay up and they continue running in your direction, shouting and chasing. And the language that they're calling towards you, you've never heard anything so foul and hideous in your life. It's just all sorts of these long S's, these hard K's. It's not Thai. You've heard that spoken already, and it's not that. I need you to roll a sand test. This is really the first time that Will has had to hear this language, which the rest of you have actually heard.
Mm-hmm.
It almost sounds like something
Delta
otherworldly.
Green, that would be a critical fail. In Cthulhu, that's a regular fail. It's a 66 over 49.
So it's only 1 point of sand loss, but it is a point of sand loss, as it sounds almost like something monstrous running down, calling after you. The flickering of the torchlight against the stone walls in their face, like it almost for a moment looks like it's a monster, like something reptilian and hideous, just chasing down after you. And that's probably the manifestation, that moment of fear. So Will, that was your first action, right?
Yeah, and then my next 2 would just be to keep moving.
Okay, so you turn back and you rush over to where Marie is. That's your second. Your third action is you're going to rush up into what appears to be some kind of like empty warehouse. You can see there's these columns of stone and wood. It definitely seems, as you're looking around for a way to go, over there to the north, there's like some rickety wooden makeshift staircase that seems to go up to a second level where you can see a window, and your memory goes back like I think we came in that window, but that staircase looks pretty shaky. So when you race up it, you can feel it kind of wobble a bit, but you make it up to that second level and you look out and you can see that whoever had connected the bridge connecting the second level of this to what looks like the third floor of an apartment building across the alleyway, someone has pulled that board out. Now, give me a luck test, and this is going to determine whether they pulled the board to the apartment side or they pulled the board to the warehouse side.
I've spent a lot of luck this session. Would have been a lot more confident at the beginning. It's a 39 over 31.
Okay.
Oh.
The board is not here.
78.
They pulled it to the other side, and so this is essentially, I'm going to call this a hazard because I do feel like jumping is possible, but it's going to be way more dangerous as there's a multi-story drop to the alleyway below. And that is where you're at in position 6, which is effectively another hazard. Marie, you have 3. You have 3 actions. Will, you heard him fire a few times. Sorry, go ahead, Will.
One question.
Yeah.
Marie, didn't you take 3 movement actions last turn? Or did you do something else? Did you do 2 movement and something else?
I had to jump last time.
You would be
Right.
at 6 if you took 3 movement actions instead of 3.
She spent one of her actions to get a bonus die on her on her jump.
That's what it was. My bad.
Yeah.
My bad. I'm sorry.
No, you're all good. But yeah, I see what you mean. All right, so Marie, you're racing up the stairs. Will fired a couple of shots. You still hear them shouting a familiar tongue. Like so you're not rolling.
Mm-hmm.
You've heard this before. You've heard it in
Yeah.
Savannah and you've heard it elsewhere. And you're rushing up these stairs into this warehouse. You can see Will already racing in front of you, that rickety staircase kind of shaking a bit as he moves up. And then you can see like this slump as he looks out the window above where that bridge is likely connected. So you're on the ground. What do you do, Marie? Do you race up to him?
Yeah, so she's got 3 movement. So she'll spend the first movement to get to him.
Okay, and so you get up here. Now the two of you are on the second floor of this warehouse, okay? And you are looking, and you can see that there is an open window on the 3rd story of this tenement apartment building across the way. It is across an alleyway. The alleyway is probably 10 feet in terms of width. You can see that there are other windows and such, but some are boarded up. Some don't look to be open. There's no balconies, but there's big, thick sills. And you can see that there's some ropes and stuff this way or that with either like looks like tarps or curtains hanging in different colors. You're not sure if it's like some sort of messaging or some sort of direction maybe that they use to help signal. And then you've got behind you this rickety ass staircase. So you're at effectively a hazard. So there's a couple different, if you're unsure of what you want to do, I can throw out some ideas. You could try to climb down the outside of the balcony, outside the building, which is dangerous, 2-story drop potentially. You can try like Jason Bourne and freaking leap across and just burst through a window, which honestly, that would be cool. You could try to turn around and break the staircase or something like that, so that kind of slows them down. So those are some things that you can potentially do. So Marie, what would you like to do? You have 2 more actions on your turn.
Oh, gosh. So those all sound really dangerous. So can I try to jump to continue this, or
yes,
I missed?
You certainly can. It is a leap up and 10 feet across, though. So this would basically be a hard success to keep from falling, and you might not even reach like the open window. You might just kind of get to the ledge across.
Okay.
I feel a little bad that I've made these jumping things, but this is how I described it when you guys were coming here. So I feel like I gotta kind of follow through on it.
Yeah, totally. Because I feel like that way I can try to help Will on the other side of it. Whereas if I'm like jumping out a 2-story window, like I'm just jumping out a 2-story window. So it feels like trying to jump, continuing on this step.
I do not understand what you just. Can you explain what you're trying to do here? I do not understand what you just said.
You want to go over and up. That's your plan, right? To go
over
for
and up is going to require a hard success to get across. Okay, and that might just land you on like a sill and not even the open window above, because you're trying to leap 10 feet across and up a story is where this is going.
Okay, sorry.
But you have a running start, so it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, and I know you laid out options, and I was
just throwing out ideas. You can do whatever you want. Those aren't options that you have to limit yourself to. I was just giving you ideas because like you can do whatever you want. You're literally standing on a 2nd-story window being chased by people who are going to kill you if they get a hold of you or do something awful to you. You've got Will next to you. You've got 10 feet between you and the building and a story up where there is an open window. There are other windows in the apartment building on the 2nd floor, on the 1st floor, but some of them are boarded up. Some of them look broken. You got about a 20-foot drop to the ground or so. You can see there's ledges and there's like sconces and things like that here and there. And there was that rickety staircase behind you. There's an alleyway below. The world is your oyster, Melissa. What would Marie do? There is no limit to what you can do.
So I feel like trying to get outside, like falling 2 stories is very bad, but it gets us out of this maze. It feels like a little bit.
Oh, it definitely will not get you out of the maze. So Marie, the maze, the labyrinth, you guys were in it for like a half an hour. Like this is like you've been in it like when you were led here. It was that long, circuitous thing. Like you're just trying to get away from danger right now. Like that's it. So this isn't going to get you out of the labyrinth. It's just right now you're just trying to outrun these people who are trying to kill you.
Okay. I'm doing the across and up to the other side of the ladder thing.
Okay, there's no ladder thing. There is. Okay, you're standing in a window on the second story
window.
of a warehouse. Below you, about 20 feet down, is an alleyway of cobblestone. Across, about 10 feet across that alleyway, is an apartment building.
Okay.
The only window in the apartment building that is open is on the 3rd floor. So it's about 10 feet up from where you're currently standing. You remember there was a board, a bridge that connected that window down a slope to this window. There are other windows in the apartment, but some of them are boarded up, some of them are broken, and you don't know what's in them. That's what you have. That's what you're looking at now.
Okay.
So
My brain finally worked with that. Going down.
you're going to climb down.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to try to climb
you
down.
could jump up and still go down.
You're definitely going down one or the other.
This finally makes sense in my brain. You hush.
Okay, climb down.
I'm sorry.
So just roll a climb test, and I will tell you that a failure state just means you're going to fall. A critical fail means I'll say you'll fall like the whole way, but you'll get down one way or the other. It's just a question of whether you take damage. If you fail, you're going to take some damage.
So from a mechanics perspective, I spent 1 movement to get here.
Yes, correct.
And so since I have 2 movement left, I can cash both of those out for bonus dice on this check.
Yes. Well, yeah, because you're overcoming. Yeah, that's exactly right. You're right.
'Cause this is the
it doesn't
okay.
mean you. It just means you can't advance to the next spot yet. You're just essentially going down.
Okay.
All right. So roll a climb with
All right.
2 bonus dice.
And taking 2, so I'm again trying to roll under 40
Okay.
for this. Yes, my tray. I will get down one way or the other.
It's just gravity, really. Think about it. How we doing?
We're doing good. I rolled 2 5s actually. So
2 5s. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So you climb down and you drop down into this cobblestone alleyway. You're not sure if you've ever passed through this alleyway or not before. They weaved and turned and moved you around a bit. You could have walked through, you might not have, but you haven't advanced the position, but you've overcome the hazard. And that's the end of your turn. They're going to continue. So chasing behind, I have to roll some tests to get them across. That's a success, and that's a fail. So one of them is going to jump across, and I'll say, Will, you can see the flickering torchlight coming up from the stairs below. It's not quite to the floor of the warehouse yet, but you can see the torchlight beginning to emerge. And then the rest of them are going to continue chasing. Okay. That's the end of their turns. Will, you know they're basically in the warehouse at this point. It is your turn. Marie just climbed down. What do you want to do?
So Marie spent a good chunk of her movement to climb down, like
Slowly
narratively,
climb
like
down.
she was going a little slower on the way down, right?
Yep.
I think in that case, Will would want to spend a movement action to create a hazard for these guys to attempt to slow them down. Looking at the list, like moving a heavy wardrobe against a door would require a strength roll and a movement action. I think he would be doing something like that, just trying to create a barrier over these steps or break some of these steps somehow, just to try and slow them down.
Absolutely, you can do that. It is a rickety
Marie
staircase. You felt it shaking here and there. It's just a question of how you would like to do it. If you just want to try to smash it and stomp it, that's fine. If you want to just try to shoot it where the thing adheres to the wall, you can try to do that. Like, you can kind of flavor it how you want. And
Shooting
then
it sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah, I'll unload an entire clip into one of the stairs.
Roll a firearms test.
All right. Shit. That's how am I rolling so bad on handguns here? 94.
Crack under pressure.
That would be 14 luck to make it a success. It's putting me down pretty low on luck, but I'm gonna do it because it's wasted action otherwise. So I'm spending 14 luck to make it a success.
Okay, so you spend the 14 luck. You fire the first couple shots, stinger like ting ting ting, but finally, like one of the other ones, like you can see, it hits where the actual staircase is adhered. You can tell this is not the original staircase. It's just something they pieced together makeshift, but it's where they're kind of anchoring it to the wall of the warehouse. And you just kind of fire at some of the anchor points, and it starts to peel away from the wall, and it's just kind of flopping around in the wind at this point. They would need to, it's basically would be a hazard for them. So it's one of your movement actions. 2 more.
All right.
What do you do?
Next one, I'm also going down. I'm not going to worry about the bonus die. If I sprain an ankle, I sprain an ankle.
Mhm.
And we'll see how it goes. So a climb check, right?
Climb check, yeah.
That's a 26 under 40. How do I pass the 40 and fail the 80?
It's the Jeremy rule. Like, we have that in so many games
Yeah,
where
the
if he has
inverse.
like 50 dice on something, he'll fail it. But if he's got 2, he'll pass every time.
Yeah.
That's Alien.
It's
basically.
good company, man. So that's a not a hard success, but a regular success to get
right.
down.
You're basically at like a T intersection here. You can see cobblestones going in different directions. Off to the right, as you land with your back to the warehouse that you just came out of, you can see that a slight incline, like a hill goes up. To the left, it looks like that hill goes down. And whereas just a few steps to your right and straight ahead, like on the opposite side of the apartment, you can see like there's just the stem of the T like heading off in that direction. So you have kind of 3 different ways you can go: uphill, downhill, or straight ahead.
It's always easier to run downhill. So that's the way.
So you turn and you rush and you run downhill. When you get to the sort of the edge of that, you emerge into this intersection of about 6 different alleyways. And you can see that there is some kind of old-looking fountain in the middle of that alley that is just kind of trying to spit up some sort of water, but it's coming out like mud. It's just kind of spitting up and falling and spitting up and falling. You see it's like a reptilian head, but it's definitely been shattered at different parts here and there. And there's about 6 different spokes coming out of this centralized courtyard. And as you look down each one of these alleyways and you look up, you can see there's got to be at least 24 of those crosswalks from 3rd floor to 2nd floor, 2nd floor to 1st floor, 3rd floor to 4th floor, all over the place. And you see more and more of those clotheslines with those colorful, different kinds of displays. You know that at this point, this is some kind of code. This is a maze that people in the know understand, and you have no clue. It is just dizzying to look at. Marie, do you follow?
Yes.
Okay. So you move down, you see this fountain, you see a dizzying amount of choices, all sorts of crisscrossing walkways, crude walkways between these buildings. What would you want to do, Marie? One of the things I would draw your attention to, by the way, one of the things you can do on your turn is you can try to hide. So a fleeing character can attempt to hide from the pursuer at any point in the chase. The longer the lead they have in the pursuer, the easier the difficulty. And if the pursuers fail to find the hidden quarry with spot hidden, then the quarry has evaded capture. So that's always an option.
Yeah, I was thinking that there's just so many options here of like which way that they could think that we went. And we seem to have gotten a little bit out of eyesight at this point. So Marie would like to do that. It's just a spend of movement to do that. It's not like a roll to hide. It's just a spend of movement to hide.
I think you do roll a stealth test because they have to do, because it's the easier to difficulty. So you're basically rolling you're rolling a stealth test, but I would give you 2 bonus dice in this situation because of the distance that you've put between you and them. Because the closest person is like 2 spots behind you, so I'll say 2 bonus dice.
You have 2 movement actions left, so you could move even further and then hide if you like.
The one thing I will say, and I'm not going to tell you what's coming, but if you run into a hazard or a barrier, that's always possible too.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good to hide here. I'll take 1, so it's a 50-50 on my percentages. Let's see. I've got a 3 under 50.
Okay. 3. Fantastic. So maybe you find like what looks like a basement entrance into one of these apartments, like there's something down on the ground. and you just quickly climb and flop into this dusty, moldy, musty basement that doesn't seem to have any clear lights or furniture or any activity. You hear the sounds of maybe squeaking rats or something like that, but it's dark and dusty and musty, and you just find some old crates and blankets to tuck down into. All right, they're going to attempt to move forward. He's going to try to climb. He's going to spend his first action to try to settle this hazard. He fails. His second action, he also fails. The one behind him, he's got a leap. Rolled a 9, so he leaps. Then he's going to try the next hazard, and he settles the hazard. So that's 1 action, 2 action. So he's effectively like looking down. He's where you guys were a moment ago, looking down the from the second floor of the warehouse. So it's 2 guys in the warehouse right now, basically. And then the 4 more racing well behind. They're trying to right now leap over top of this river. They're slow and limping. They probably have tons of wounds.
Gosh.
Will, you see her hiding. Do you follow suit?
I don't think I'd want to hide in the same place as her. I feel like that's like doubling
That's fine.
things up. So I would like to spend an action to cover her tracks if I can. Like,
Absolutely.
She was on a basement door. I'll like throw sheets or something over it to try.
There's
and make
all
it
sorts of
seem like it
debris in
hasn't been
here,
opened.
and you just can kind of conceal that entrance. Absolutely.
Nothing that'll trap her, but just enough to like make it
and
hard
then
to
light
see,
the
especially
match
from
and
the
walk
angle you're
away.
running.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So she has nowhere to breathe. For sure. Takes up all the oxygen.
Yes, I'm trying to murder Melissa's character right now.
Yep. Classic.
So an action doing that to give her a bonus die or whatever if I can. And then I would go up one more, just keep running a little bit more and see what's ahead.
You do want to move ahead?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
You
why you gotta go
move
do
ahead.
that?
And what you see in front of you, as you just pick one of these alleys, you race down, not the same one that she just hid down. You race down it. You feel, again, it's descending. And then you realize you come to the edge of what looks like a muddy, long stream or river of some kind, or maybe it's a tributary to one of the other rivers that you've seen within Bangkok so far. There are these ratty boats on it here and there. You can see some people are sleeping in them. Some of them have lanterns, like people like liveaboards, so to speak. And you can see that there is a pathway along this muddy river, but it doesn't look to be like well maintained at all. It's like all broken down here and there. But there are people all around you. None of them immediately turn. And you can see in the far distance, like across the river, but that would be literally multiple things to try to swim across.
This seems like a fun place to hide. I don't know why. There will be people that'll point me out, but it is what it is. I'd like to try to find an empty boat and throw a tarp over myself.
Okay. So you spent 1 action to hide her, 1 action to move, and now you're trying to hide. Give me a stealth test with a penalty die. Actually, no, you don't need to take the penalty die. I'm just going to give them if they make it here, they're going to get a bonus to their spotted because there's potentially witnesses.
Bonus because of the distance I have. I've got more time to hide.
That's a great point. I would give you 2 bonus dice for that. We'll say 2 bonus dice works for me.
Do I lose one of those?
Hmm?
No, you said you're not giving me a penalty. Never.
No. Yeah, I'm not going to give you a penalty. I'll give them a bonus possibly if they can get the witnesses to talk.
Okay, so that is a 19 under 40, which is a hard success. What would I need to make it a really good success? It would be how much luck? Sorry, I'm waiting for it to pop up.
That'd be
8. Yeah, that's too much luck. So I'm good. Hard success.
Okay, was it a hard success? Okay. Got it. Okay. We're going to fade out of there as we hear the sounds of footsteps, calls, etc. And we are going to cut to what looks like Bev stumbling through the darkness of Bangkok, the streets. Bev, give me a luck test. You have been stumbling around for what feels probably like 3 hours, maybe. It has been a horrifically long time, that you know for sure. How'd you do?
Poorly, 74.
Okay. And this a whole time, while you have seen some people, none have ever inquired as to whether or not you're okay. And after 3 hours of wandering around, swearing, have you seen this building before? Have you, that building before? This building that? You finally see, in the far distance, a plane coming in on the horizon. You're probably still 2 miles away or so, but you can see this plane at night with these lights coming in and coming down. It's not a very big plane. It's just like yours. And you can see it just flying overhead of you. And you look up, you can see it, these little lights on it, and disappears off in the distance. It is not quite dawn. It's probably still a couple of hours before dawn. But that's the only real sign that you've gotten. And it's AM time, not a lot of traffic on the streets, not a lot of people on the streets. And those that have seen you, they took a look at you, they see you have nothing. Maybe even the pickpockets are staying away from you because it's clear you don't have anything. What are you going to do, Bev?
She's just going to keep trucking.
Okay.
She's scared that if she stops, they're going to catch up to her and get her.
Okay. I'll say another hour passes. You make it to what looks like the outskirts of the airport. At this point, you are drenched in rain, barefoot, probably bleeding, I would say, from the soles of your feet, kind of walking this whole way, some of them on broken and uneven pavement and cobblestones and things like that. And you come up to what looks like the kind of a main drop-off area. It's not as busy as when you were here. It's not closed. And you notice how, you have somebody in a uniform, not a cop uniform, but you can tell, you're not sure if it's could be like a driver uniform, comes racing up and starts saying stuff to you in Thai. Give me a Thai test to see if you can interpret what they're saying.
95. I do not.
No.
They're, I mean, maybe they're trying to help you, but at the same time, they're sort of reaching out and kind of grabbing your arm and kind of keeping you away from this door or that door. So it's hard to, like, you're getting mixed signals as to what they're actually saying. And you can see there's one or two cars that kind of pull up, these very nice cars, and like a chauffeur steps out, kind of stands by it for a moment, and then comes to the back and opens up a back door, and you see these well-dressed people step out. They got luggage out of the back, and you see them kind of get let off in. None of them seem to give two shits about you, as one of them even looks at you and just kind of turns their nose up. The woman does, and she fixes her furs and then goes back inside. What do you do?
Did Kearns tell us what his where he would be staying?
I don't think so. I don't think you all have.
I think he said he was going to send us that info to the hotel.
I think that makes a lot of sense to me. Let me check my notes. Yeah, I know where he's at, but I don't think you guys do.
I don't
You haven't
think
been back
I
to your
know.
hotel in a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's going to ask, try and ask for someone who speaks English.
Okay. Sure. Let's see if anyone's got. Okay. At a certain point, as you're staying outside, every time you go up to the door, this kind of, not a bellhop guy, but definitely somebody who works here is like kind of holding up their hands and just not letting you in.
Yeah.
Eventually, someone comes out, and you can see that there is a woman. You can tell, like, she's got, like, she smells like lye, and she's got this smock like coat on, and she's got her hair tied back tight, and she's definitely Thai. And she says, in not great English, but she says something like, "You okay?" or like, "Or you hurt?" Something along those lines.
And you know, she'll say, "No, I am hurt. Help."
And then she turns and she says something to the guy, and he's like kind of shaking his head and kind of holding his hand. And then, like, they have like a brief argument, and then she turns back to you. Money?
It's at my hotel. My purse stolen.
She points to like one of these cars, and she's like, "Money." And then she's like waiting, and then turns to the, and he makes him. He's like, and he's just like, no, shaking his head, no. What would Bev? So let's think about this for a second. So Bev, you're in her whatever clothes you went out looking for Daniel Lohman in. Your shoes are gone. Do you wear any jewelry? Do you wear any like rings? Do you wear any earrings? Do you wear any necklaces?
Yeah, she does. She's probably wearing just like pearl earrings, and then like a simple statement necklace for like her day to day.
Do you offer those things? And maybe he even starts pointing them out. He's just like, he points out the earrings, he points out the necklace.
Yeah, she'll take out her earrings and give them.
And he takes it and like, and like he calls out towards one of those drivers who looks up in your direction, and then he's just like making a face. The man who took your jeweler walks over. The two of them have a conversation. He puts like the earrings into the guy's hands and keeps the necklace for himself. And then finally they wave you over, and the woman's coming with you. She's kind of touching your arm, and she's like, "Hospital?"
I want to go to my hotel.
What hotel? And you can tell that she's not like fluent. She's like you are with Ty. It's like the inverse, you know, like you two
exactly.
But
and
you're finding a
off.
makeshift language between the little bits that you know, right? Okay, so you know, I think it's the Oriental Hotel. I think we said that you guys, because Will talked you guys into doing the really expensive one. Then
Patrick.
Was it Patrick or was it Will? I think it was Will.
I think it was both of them, right?
I think it was Will.
It was definitely both of them.
I think it was Will.
Yeah, they were like egging it up.
I'll talk you guys going into this. Tricks like baited Shima into charging, and then just lots of things.
I ran halfway. She ran past me, and I'm like, "Peace."
Yeah. Yep. God damn. If Shima survives and makes it back to the group, I want Shima to hate Will and just choke him out in his sleep. Okay. Bev, you manage they open the door for you reluctantly. Like the driver kind of turns his nose up towards you, and they're all three of them are like kind of shouting back, like talking to one another, and you can tell the woman is certainly advocating for you.
Yeah.
And then she names the hotel. And you get in, and you're again soaking wet. So you sink down into this very nice high end rent, like private car. And a short while later, you arrive at your hotel. You are let out. I'll say because you've checked in and they recognize your face, it's probably a little bit awkward for you. But nonetheless, like you have a recognizable face. You can say your name, all these types of things, and someone can let you out into your room. So you go in and you're asking for your room. They're seeing your face. You produce the right name. You produce the right room number, and so eventually someone could potentially take you up there. What would Bev be trying to do?
She's gonna see if she's gotten a message from Kearns at all. And then
okay, yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you check the front desk for messages, and we'll say you do have messages. We can say it's you. Frank Kearns has left a message for you all. Gives you all a address and a number for the Trocadero Hotel, which is where he's staying. I'll say at this point, it's probably the equivalent of like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, and she's exhausted, but she's gonna presume that they know that this is the hotel that we're staying at, Daniel Lohman. So she's actually just gonna go quickly clean up, get dressed in different clothes, and then check out and try and find another hotel.
Okay. When you say find another hotel, do you mean the one that Frank is
the
at?
Trocadero. Yeah, she's
Okay.
gonna go.
Okay.
And she'll leave Kearns's note and then at the desk for the rest of them. And then she'll sign she'll add a B with a heart next to it to imply that she's also there. That's how she signs it, her
Precious
initials.
code. Okay. And we'll say once you clean up, you get whatever stash you have back in your belongings. We'll say you can get in, probably get a car from there, and they can take you over to the Trocadero. And we'll cut from there as you basically arrive shortly around the sun coming up, we'll say.
Yeah.
We're going to cut back to the arena. Patrick, you see this gore around you. You're being held in place by two people with these long spears shaved at the end. You can see they look like the types of posts that are surrounding the fighting area.
I make empty swings at them in the air towards them. Get me out of here.
And they poke at you here and there. And they don't poke to harm you completely, but you can feel kind of the stab in there. And then as they are doing so, you hear the sounds of shouting. And across the way over towards where the concrete stair is that goes down into the cells that you were taking from, you see this large figure has emerged, and it's the first time you've seen this person. They've definitely, the minute they show and the minute they shout, the two that are flanking you give a start. And they look up in that direction. And then the one that's kind of chopping up the bodies suddenly is doing it faster and shoving it into the grates faster. You even hear the sounds of people up in the stands begin to dim as you're dripping. You're still you're dripping in blood and you're still under the effects of the nectar. But I'm going to say your bout of madness at this point has ended. The figure is... They are massive, muscular. They are tattooed and scarred from top to toe as they slowly come across, and they're shouting out, broken nose. At least it's been broken so many times it's practically missing. And you can see as they're shouting out, their teeth show, and it looks as though they've been filed to points. Their head is completely shaved, and their voice sounds like bone grating on bone, and you see this heavily bloodstained, massive cleaver, right there on their belt, and they're cracking their knuckles as they walk across. And do you have any points in tie yet?
No, we haven't spent the night yet. I don't think.
Okay. No.
5 hours here.
It's hilarious to do that. Okay. So as you're looking in, they're shaking, though the people who have their spears on you, they flip them so that the spear end isn't against you, and then they just start beating you over the head and the back with them rapidly and rapidly and rapidly over and over and over again. Do you try to dodge it or fight back in any particular way?
Yeah, I try to avoid getting hit, so I'll be dodging.
Okay. Go ahead and make your roll. I'm going to do one for each. It's the first. Let's do the first one because the second one will be different.
Is this get a bonus die from the nectar? If it's considered.
Are you fighting back or dodging? If you're fighting back,
dodging.
yes. Dodge, no.
Okay. Dodge is 16, so it's a regular.
Okay, you dodge either way. I passed with a 25, but it's a regular success. Your 16 is also a regular success. You quickly dodge out of the way. You hear the sounds of that figure behind you, shout with displeasure. This next person with the cane, it continues to try to hit you. Do you dodge or you fight back with this one too?
Yes.
Okay, so this one's going to have... Yeah, so this means I'm going to get a bonus die.
Okay.
So
70 this time, so I failed.
Okay, I rolled a 14 on the bonus die, basically. And so they hit you over the back of the head. They just conk you in the back. You're not like that. You can tell that because they flip the blade, that they're probably not trying to kill you, but they're hitting you on the back as if they're trying to like push you down. So you're grabbing your head, and then they keep hitting you. The second one comes up and is grabbing you by the shoulder, just trying to push you down to the ground. You're going to take, I'll say, for the damage, just take a point of damage. They're not trying to harm you, but like they'll probably bruise you from doing it. And the figure is getting closer. You can hear like jeers and cheers and people cursing and cussing up in the stands a bit. You're not, again, your nectar is still coursing through you, so there's still this violence. So your objectivity is still a little clouded. So like I'm not giving you a lot of rolls for what you're seeing and observing, just because the nectar is probably making it difficult for you to do anything too precise with your observation. Do you, at any point, stop just trying to fight back against these two?
Yeah, I think all right, I get it. Then they force me down. I'll pay my attention to the large guy that just came in.
So like they get you down to the ground, and then eventually like your knees are down. Each of them grabs one of your arms and pulls it kind of back behind you, and they're like pinning it up and pushing you down. So your head is sort of leaning down towards the ground, and you see these massive feet just suddenly appear in front of you in some kind of crude sandals. And you hear the sounds of like scurrying footsteps as the figure that had been cutting up the remains and finished shoving them, feeding them down into the grate, comes running over. You hear the sounds of like a metal blade kind of scraping against leather, and then you feel that giant cleaver right on your chin, and it kind of lifts your head up, and the big man leans down, grabs your face and turns it one way, turns it the other, and then barks something to the two of them, and then reaches back and right on top of your head with the flat of the cleaver, your face just smashes to the ground, and everything goes black. And that's where we're going to go ahead and end for tonight.
Holy crap.
Oh, goodness gracious. That was what? Say it.
That was intense. Told
you.
We might as well be
intense.
camping because that was intense.
What the hell?
Oh, goodness.
I make jokes when I'm nervous.
No, Australis, the question is no. Any kind of defense creates the penalty situation.
Yeah,
or at least
just
a bonus
in the
situation,
round.
I should say. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
same round.
So, taking stock, Will and Marie have ran away and are trying to hide somewhere within this labyrinthine place while being pursued by at least 6 of these figures who have shown absolute willingness to hack people to pieces. Patrick has just slaughtered 3 or 4 people. I've lost count. Some of which have been fed through grates and just kind of pushed down through these sewer grates. Bev, you saw the ghost of Pastor Wood while wandering through Bangkok in the rain. I feel like that's almost a song. And then Shima, you trying to help Patrick and help others flee, got surrounded and hacked to pieces. The fate of Shima, the fate of Patrick, and of all of the other investigators, tune in next week to find out. And we'll go from there. So let's
At least there will be a next week. You know, that's a win for the session.
We'll see what game we're playing, though. We'll see if it's Call of Cthulhu or if it's something else. Maitre, let's throw it over to you because Stephen doesn't deserve to go. Maitre, tell us a little bit about what you do on the internet.
Well, when I'm not losing my shit at like how intense this session was, I might play games on YouTube where I make system agnostic or multi-system content about tip-top set center, the GM and player experience. But the video I want to play
Fan-freaking-
like 5 more minutes.
Fan-freaking-tastic. Obviously, links are in the chat and links are in the show notes and stuff like that. So if you're listening to this or watching this later, just check the description and you can find everyone's links. All right, Stephen, go ahead and tell us about your wonderful creations.
I've got a tabletop RPG out. It's called Huckleberry. It's a Weird West game. If you like horror, if you like the Western, it's a lot of fun. If you want to play it, you can do that. Ooh, there's a little bracelet on there, isn't there? And all you have to do is join the Lollygagger Discord to be able to play it. I run sessions on there, little demos. I ran one this morning. It was a ton of fun. We had a lot of people and it was a blast. And I would love it if you would join me for the next one. So join the Lollygagger Discord and play Huckleberry with me, please.
Fan-freaking-tastic. Not only that, but just 2 weeks ago at this point, big update just dropped for Huckleberry, right?
I don't think it was
what
even
is
2
in
weeks
that?
ago, but I lose
Something like
track
that. It was
of
a
time.
Friday, I think.
We did
last
the
week?
1.1 update. So Huckleberry's in early access, and it's getting a lot of updates as things go. We're going to be adding new chapters, adding new monsters. We added some new traits. We added new monsters, and we dropped the introductory scenario that's bundled with the book. It's like 21 pages, I think, and it's pretty dense, I feel like. So there's a lot of content there, and it'll keep you going. And it's a great start to the game. If you want to start a campaign, it's one of the best places to start.
Awesome. And we just ran it like a month or so ago. So if you're curious about what we did, go check the YouTube page and all that kind of stuff, right? Right?
Yeah. HuckleberryRPG.com has a link to the actual video as well. So you'll be able to see it there.
Look at you. Look at you. Such a nice guy. Such a nice guy. As for what we got going on here, our next game is going to be Monday, where you can see some of us here on the screen playing through some other escapes, some cyberpunk dystopian mythos future stuff. Where Shima, or not Shima, Maitre opens tries to open doors the way the Kool-Aid Man does, which is just to knock them right the fuck over. But it's very successful, to be honest. It worked really well.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't a door. Like, I don't think you're supposed to be able to walk through doors.
Makes sense. I mean, if they don't want you busting through it, it shouldn't have been bustable,
Really?
right? Let's be honest. Tuesday, Stephen hops into the chair and runs us through some Star Trek adventures, the voyages of the Starship Intrepid. Thursday, I think we're just doing some random Halloween one shot next week, as we don't have all of our players for Arzium. And Friday next week, we're going to be back to Dragonbane. And then next Saturday, join us for whatever our next game is going to be. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to go ahead and raid a Cybernation Uncensored. They're playing through some Cyborg. Follow the raid. Have a great rest of your night. Melissa, we got some raids tonight. Do you remember who they were? I was pretty
I do. It was
tonight.
Tales of Myth and Mayhem and Infinite
Mark was
Monkey
here?
Tales.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So many
Tales left and
tales. Yeah. Tales and Lollygagging. It does not seem ring to it. All right. We're out of here.
No, we already picked Adventures in Gaslighting.
That is our next. That is going to be the spin-off channel we do, for sure.
Yeah, a rebrand.
Yep. Well, I mean, honestly, it's been there the whole time, so I don't know what you guys are talking about. Have a great rest of your night. We'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.
I'll be saying you.